So this story starts all the way back in October when I randomly came across an ad or a post, I don't really remember, calling for participants to this big B2B fair in February. The event is called Formland and it's apparently the biggest design and lifestyle fair in Denmark. It's typically quite expensive to rent a stand there, but they have a program called Creators Community, which is meant for small emerging businesses within the design and lifestyle space. So I decided to apply to that program, just for the sake of it. I didn't think I was going to be accepted at all, but in about a week or so, I got a mail and I've been accepted to this Formland event that I randomly applied to. And I have mixed feelings. First of all, of course, I'm glad that I was accepted. It feels like some kind of validation. It feels nice. But then I also feel like, is this event even legit? I feel like the acceptance came really quickly. Well, I guess I also applied close to the closing date, but within a week or so, they managed to evaluate everyone. I don't know. It kind of feels like there were like 5 people applying and I was just one of them. So I don't know. I did do a bit of Googling and it seems like a legit event. It seems like a pretty big event, actually. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me feeling like an imposter. But the other thing is, even though through this program that I applied for, you get a kind of a discount, it's still really, really expensive to be there. It's definitely the most expensive market I've ever even considered. Oh, I didn't really consider it. I kind of applied on a whim and now I'm accepted. So now I have to make an actual decision. I was kind of hoping that I'm just not going to be accepted so that I wouldn't have to make a decision, but here we are. So I'm certainly not very comfortable paying this amount because I can't really afford it. But on the other hand, I guess I need to do new things and I need to try new things. And the only way I see for my business to become at least a little bit viable is to sell more. And a way to sell more would be through wholesale. And this market or fair is supposed to be oriented to this kind of thing. So this should be a possible way to possibly network with the right people, to possibly make the connections to get into wholesale. I don't know. Since I've been accepted, I feel like I have to go and see what's up and know that it's something I've tried and whatever happens, happens. But it's making me really uncomfortable. This money could go towards rent, so yeah. And maybe they should. I don't know. I'm feeling pretty stressed, so let's fold some laundry and talk about it. So the thing is that I got myself into this event, this B2B fair, and I'm freaking out about it because mostly because I just simply can't afford it. It's very expensive and I have no idea if it's worth it for me at all. Of course, I kind of want to try it because it's something new and maybe it's going to be useful to me, but I really don't know. There's no guarantee. Well, nothing is ever guaranteed at all, but I feel like there's a very small chance that this is going to be useful to me. And on top of that, all of a sudden now, there are all these different things to consider, like furnishing the stand and figuring out my presentation. And I have no one that can help me with that. There is the cost of the stand, the cost of the fair. And then turns out this fair is not even in Copenhagen. I assumed it's going to be in Copenhagen because, I don't know, big city bias or something. But no, it's actually in Herning, which is a small town, 3 hours train ride from here. So I actually studied there about 10 years ago. Crazy. So I'm somewhat familiar with the town, but that doesn't really matter because I have to plan my trip there and back. I have to find a hotel to stay in. I have to bring all my stuff there, which on one hand is not too bad because my stuff is basically postcards, so it's not big or heavy, and I only need to bring like one of each as a sample just to show it because I'm not really selling at this event. I don't have to bring like, I don't know, 20 of each card or something. But you can't just have your cards there. You have to make your stand look cool and fancy. You have to furnish it in some way. You have to make it appealing to the people passing by. And I have no idea how I'm going to do that. So as a participant in this kind of program, we're given a mentor to help, and we are going to have like an online call with the group. It's one mentor per several people. So yeah, but in any case, I don't think they can help with that. So, I mean, yeah, it would be nice to have someone to talk with about these things, but how much would that help? I don't know. And yeah, it's a lot. It's so much to organize. It's so many expenses. There's food as well to consider. It's like, yeah. And I'm telling myself to just think about it as some kind of fun event that I'm just kind of doing for the learning experience and for it's just something new and different, and that's all cool. And that helps with the anxiety, but it doesn't help with the money spending because it's a very expensive way to have fun, I guess. Oh, and there is the Danish, of course, because I would have to bring my best business Danish for this, which is like, all right. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm getting myself into. Okay, I want to talk about the Formland Fair again. It's been some time and there's been a lot. We've had the meeting with the mentor and that was all right. There's been so many things to think about. There is this profile you have to fill out on the website, like a presentation kind of thing. And again, there are all these things to consider. You had to order things from the fair's shop if you wanted any kind of furniture there to rent for your stand, which would have been helpful, but it's expensive, and I didn't order anything. I'm hoping to figure it out all by myself. So far, my plan is to use these kind of wooden crates kind of things that you can get in IKEA, and to just get a couple of them and sort of build some kind of shelves around with that. And for the cards, I think I'm going to just have a line and clip them with little clips, kind of like on a drying line for clothes. I kind of do that with my photography. I'm not sure it's the right move for a fair, but it's cheap and easy and light, so I can bring it with me. I don't know if it's gonna look great. I felt very up and down about this, and I really wish there was a way to know that I'm doing the right thing. I keep fantasizing about a future version of myself, looking back at this and thinking, you silly goose, you shouldn't have worried so much about it. It all went totally fine. It was great. You're so glad that you did that. But I don't know if such version will exist ever. Maybe instead there will be a version who will be like, well, that was dumb. Who are you thinking? And yeah, I don't know which one is going to be. I've booked train tickets and hotel, and that was, I guess, as cheap as I can get it. And I'm glad that's done. At least I don't have to think about that anymore. Now all I have to think about is the arrangement of the stand and what I'm going to do with that. And also, most of the time, I'm just kind of avoiding thinking about it altogether because that feels more comfy. Yeah, I mean, part of me is excited. Part of me feels like I'm going out on some kind of theatrical performance, and I have to figure out my, like costumes and scene design or whatever that's called. And that's all nice and fun. But then we get to the limitations, which are most of all the money, my abilities to carry stuff across the country without a car, the cost of all that. Do we say the cost? I'm pretty sure we said the cost. Well, that's the biggest one. And then again, the next thing would be my abilities to present my products in a, I don't know, professional way, which I'm not very confident about that at all either. So yeah, and then in the next moment, it all starts to seem a lot more real, and I start to freak out again. And yeah, it's a lot. I don't know. I hope it will be worth it because I don't mind the stress of it. I don't mind the anxiety of it. All of that is well and good, and that's going to be fine. I know that's going to be fine. But spending so much when I can't afford it, that really, really bothers me. I feel like I'm doing a really stupid thing. Yep. I made a little experiment for my upcoming market. For my booth, I would like to have some kind of sign with my logo and kind of what is it that I'm doing on the wall. Ideally, I would have a sign maybe cut out of wood or some other nice material, maybe something that lights up. So I've been trying to come up with cheap DIY solutions because that's my vibe. And what I've come up with is to make my own sticker out of label paper. Let me show you. It looks like this. Here's the box. This is the paper. So it basically looks, on one side, it looks exactly like a regular printing paper, but you can peel it off and it's a sticker. So it just has a tiny frame all around, but other than that, all of this is a sticker. So basically, my idea is to print my logo and the slogan, whatever you want to call it, like my website, whatever else I want to have on the wall on this paper, cut around it and stick it on the wall. So I kind of made a little experiment here with my logo starting to fall apart. Oh, how nice. This is my cutting board, by the way. So definitely won't be having problems peeling off these ones from here, which is nice. You know, up close, it's really not pretty. You can see that it's not perfect and all that, but the idea with this is that it's going to be seen from afar. So the little unevenness in how it's been cut shouldn't be too big of a problem. It's not perfect. I think especially if these are bigger, it might be hard to stick them properly without them distorting and going all over the place. No, this is not the right way to do it. It's just my cheap homemade DIY way. And I'm feeling a little bit embarrassed to go with it, because looking at the pictures of this event and what other people have, like a lot of the people there have a lot more resources and they can invest in a lot better presentation. Maybe not the people in this kind of like sort of startup-y area, let's call it that. But there are some really, really big and established brands there, and I'm not comparing myself to them, because it's that would be like comparing a first grader to a PhD. So we're not there, but I think the people in like my category, a lot of them have done a lot better too, based on pictures from previous events. Obviously, I don't know what the people this year are doing, but also in general, I feel like most people have more resources and are able to afford a lot more than me. Like, I'm working on the most minimal budget imaginable to me, because if I can imagine it cheaper, I would do that. And the thing is that I feel like with that kind of, with this kind of events, you like part of the game is presenting yourself as more successful than you already are, and you do that with money. So, but I have my creativity, I guess. It's what I'm telling myself. So I'm trying to problem solve in a creative way. I'm trying to come up with solutions that look neat and are also cheap and easy and light for me to carry this far by myself. But yeah, I don't know if this is the solution, but it's what I have so far. And I think the problem might be that this peels off. I don't know. I feel like I'm really down for today. Well, never mind. I ended up ordering a wooden laser engraved sign. It was my first time trying something like that, and it was actually a lot of fun to make. So I'm pretty hype about it. Come back next week to see packing for the event, last minute complications. Isn't it just great when dragging luggage through the streets, building and decorating my stand, and actually being at the event? Was it all worth it? Subscribe so you won't miss the next episode and find out. Hope to see you then, and until then, have fun.